Gentlemen, I want you to picture waking up in the morning tomorrow with that level of firmness you haven't experienced in years. Without any pills, without pumps, without any risky procedures, simply by employing your own hands and just a few minutes of straightforward, exact stimulation to awaken your body's inherent erection process. I'm Dr. Sophia Carter, a urologist who has more than a decade of expertise in assisting men to regain their sexual energy. And right now, I'm going to reveal to you 3 particular pressure points on your manhood and the nearby regions that can assist in reviving morning erections through enhancing blood circulation, easing the appropriate muscles, and increasing nerve sensitivity. If you've been lacking that instinctive morning lift, stick around with me, since by this video's conclusion, you'll understand precisely the locations of these points, the safe way to stimulate them, and the frequency for achieving genuine outcomes. Prior to diving into the locations and methods, it's essential for you to grasp the reason this method succeeds. For when you comprehend the underlying science, you'll see that you're not merely applying pressure to the surface. You're accessing one of the most potent mechanisms within the male physiology. Erections aren't haphazard or purely mechanical. They stem from a precisely orchestrated interplay among your brain, your spinal cord, your blood vessels, your nerves, and your muscles. Everything commences with nerve impulses, those minuscule electrical impulses that zip along at incredible velocity from your brain or sensory nerves toward the erectile tissues. Such impulses instruct the smooth muscles within the penis to loosen, permitting blood to surge inward and inflate the spongy compartments referred to as the corpora cavernosa. As these compartments expand, the veins that typically carry blood outward get squeezed, securing the blood within and generating rigidity. Now, this is where the effects of aging alter everything. With the passage of time, the blood vessels in your pelvic zone can become rigid, owing to diminished flexibility in the arterial linings, a development hastened by prolonged exposure to wear, subtle inflammation, or issues such as hypertension. Simultaneously, the speed of nerve transmission diminishes, indicating that those electrical dispatches from your brain or sensory detectors fail to move as swiftly or as robustly as they used to. This dual impact, languid blood flow and diminished nerve impulses, is among the primary causes why morning erections begin to diminish after age 50 or 60. Focused stimulation of pressure points succeeds because it delivers an instant alert throughout your nervous system. As you apply pressure or massage to certain points, you engage groups of sensory nerve terminals that connect straight to reflex routes associated with erection regulation. These impulses extend beyond the immediate vicinity. They proceed to the pelvic nerve network and even ascend to the sacral area of the spinal cord, home to the erection headquarters. This initiates a cascade of responses. The nervous system directs the smooth muscle in the penis to unwind, the arteries to expand, and the blood to circulate more abundantly. Yet it goes further than that. Certain of these points exert a straightforward effect on the pelvic floor muscles as well, those sling-like muscles that bolster the penis throughout an erection and aid in managing ejaculation. By stimulating these muscles, you can enhance their strength and reactivity, rendering it simpler to sustain firmness once it's achieved. This explains the dual impact often seen from pressure point techniques. It can facilitate the onset of erections with greater ease and additionally assist in preserving them for extended periods. Whenever you apply pressure or massage to the correct locations, you're basically circumventing certain age-induced delays and providing your erection mechanism a straightforward manual enhancement. Consider it akin to rebooting a computer, eliminating the delay, renewing the transmission, and enabling the components and programs to function harmoniously once more. Performed consistently, this form of stimulation can re-educate your erectile responses, augment vascular pliability, and progressively amplify nerve acuity. The initial point we'll address is termed the base groove, positioned precisely at the foundation of your manhood, the specific place where the shaft connects to the pubic region. To identify it, slide your fingers beneath the shaft toward your torso. You'll detect a minor groove or depression, nearly resembling a built-in pivot where the erectile tissue merges with the profounder elements fastened in the pelvis. This zone might seem marginally distinct from the remainder of the shaft, perhaps a touch more solid or varied in texture, and that's due to it being a convergence of vital anatomical features. Why does this location hold such significance? Under the skin in this spot exists a thick array of sensory nerve terminals, encompassing extensions of the dorsal nerve of the penis alongside crucial blood vessel intersections that supply the erectile compartments directly. View it as a command center where nervous system signals and blood flow intersect. Through stimulating this zone, you're fundamentally illuminating both your nerve roots and your vascular network simultaneously, promoting superior interaction among your brain, your spinal cord, and your manhood. When you execute soft yet purposeful circular movements on the base groove, you're conveying two vital directives to your body. Initially, you're instructing your blood vessels, expand and permit greater passage, which elevates circulation. Next, you're signaling your nerve strands. Awaken and prepare to relay signals more effectively. This pairing readies the erectile tissue to react swifter when arousal cues reach it, be that in the morning or further along in the day. Here's the proper execution. Place your thumbs squarely upon the base groove as your fingers support the rear of the shaft. Commence with average pressure, sufficient to sense the tissue under your thumb, but never approaching discomfort. Form tiny, gradual circles, allowing the heat from your contact to softly diffuse across the region. While you proceed, you can incrementally heighten the intensity of your pressure, particularly if you detect the tissue starting to yield and ease. You could observe an agreeable warmth, a mild prickling, or perhaps a budding sensation of expansion. Those feelings represent your body's indication that blood flow is rising and that your erectile tissue is growing more reactive. Should you sense little initially, remain unconcerned. Regularity holds the secret. In due course, everyday application will intensify acuity in this zone and render the effects more evident. For optimal outcomes, attend to the base groove each morning, preferably prior to rising from bed when your body remains inherently at ease. A heated shower provides another ideal occasion, since the warmth will have already tenderized your tissues and advanced blood flow. Across weeks, this uncomplicated yet accurate approach can re-educate your erectile reflexes, aiding in reinstating those robust, trustworthy morning erections you believed were gone. The subsequent point we're examining isn't precisely on the shaft, but in a somewhat concealed, frequently ignored region, the perineum. This constitutes that yielding, somewhat resilient expanse of tissue situated between the scrotum and the anus. Numerous men disregard it completely, yet regarding erection potency and regulation, it's an undeniable force. Why? Because it rests immediately over the bulbospongiosus muscle, a central component in upholding firmness after arousal. The bulbospongiosus muscle ranks among the primary muscles in your pelvic floor, tasked with confining blood within the penis amid an erection. Envision it as an innate vice that prevents blood from departing too hastily. Across time, particularly as years accumulate, this muscle may atrophy if not deliberately utilized, complicating the upkeep of potent erections. Through directing focused pressure and massage to the perineal location, you can reflexively rouse this muscle, in effect providing it exercise without undertaking a complete series of Kegels. To pinpoint it, either settle into a cozy chair or recline with your knees marginally separated. Employing two fingers, typically your index and middle fingers, prove most effective. Depress softly yet solidly into the perineum's midpoint. You're not exerting force to induce unease, but adequately to perceive the beneath muscle react. Shift your fingers in leisurely, intentional circles, remaining focused in that ideal center. As you need, you might perceive understated feelings accumulating. Maybe a soft warmth extending toward your penis, or a slight throbbing as blood flow advances. That's your pelvic muscles arousing and your circulation replying. Dedicate 2 to 3 minutes here, maintaining your contact consistent and measured. For an extra enhancement, combine this with mild pelvic floor drills like Kegels, either preceding or succeeding the massage. This pairing extends beyond immediate aid. It conditions the muscle to tighten more forcefully amid arousal, rendering your erections seem more substantial and steadfast as time progresses. The perineum might escape visibility, but for reinstating morning vigor, it ought to remain firmly in consideration. The third and concluding point resides at one of the most acute areas of the male structure, directly under the penis head. This is designated as the glans, and more precisely, we're aiming at the encircling ridge where the glans joins the shaft, termed the corona. This zone brims with an extraordinarily compact assembly of sensory nerve terminals. These nerves serve as your body's chief couriers for dispatching arousal cues to the spinal cord's erection hub. When this location receives stimulation via the optimal mix of pressure and cadence, it can elevate nerve reactivity, simplifying the shift from arousal to a complete erection. It's nearly like fine-tuning your body's arousal wiring, ensuring it operates more proficiently at the opportune moment. This point functions optimally when the stimulation remains managed. Excessive vigor here might inundate the nerves and yield the contrary result. To address this area, softly grasp your manhood using your thumb and forefinger, situating them on both sides of the corona. Delicately squeeze the ridge and maintain for approximately 5 seconds. Then gradually let go. Reiterate this grasp and liberation sequence for about 1 minute, ensuring the pressure stays solid yet at ease. Following that, transition to gradual circular movements encircling the full perimeter of the corona, permitting your fingers to slide sufficiently to rouse the nerve terminals without provoking frictional annoyance. This ensuing minute of circular effort further arouses the sensory conduits, fostering swifter impulse relay between the penis and the brain. As time elapses, steady stimulation of the glans ridge through this tempered, rhythmic manner can yield firmer, more recurrent morning erections. You might additionally observe an elevation in general acuity during closeness, rendering arousal seem more innate and impromptu. Recall, this isn't regarding saturating the nerves. It's concerning softly recalibrating them to reply as they once did in your earlier days. Envision it as a routine cue to your body concerning the sensation of optimal blood flow and nerve synergy. The utmost outcomes arise when you regard these 3 points not as standalone maneuvers, but as components of one purposeful regimen. Here's the order I suggest to my patients for peak advantage. Initiate with the base groove for roughly 90 seconds, executing those compact, stable, circular movements until you sense the region heating and reacting. Then proceed to the perineal spot for 2 minutes, depressing and kneading in leisurely, purposeful circles to rouse the pelvic floor and promote profounder circulation. Lastly, conclude with the glans ridge for a further 2 minutes, employing that grasp and liberation method succeeded by soft circular caresses to revive nerve acuity. Executed consecutively, this progression arouses blood flow, involves muscle reinforcement, and hones nerve interaction, encompassing all the essential factors for firmer, more consistent morning erections. Now, I wish to establish appropriate anticipations. This isn't an enchanted switch that alters matters instantaneously. Your body requires duration to adjust, to re-educate those blood vessels, muscles, and nerves to collaborate anew. Nevertheless, numerous of my patients commence perceiving understated yet uplifting shifts in merely 2 to 4 weeks, enhanced warmth and expansion in the mornings, erections enduring somewhat longer, and an overall sense of amplified vitality in the pelvic region. For genuinely enduring advancements, integrate this everyday pressure point regimen with salubrious lifestyle practices. Remaining adequately hydrated across the day sustains your blood volume and circulation at their peak. Preserving your pelvic floor robust via drills like Kegels contributes to the solidity you'll perceive from this method. And never undervalue nutrition's influence. When you incorporate these measures into your daily cadence, the advantages typically amplify. The points grow more reactive, circulation advances, and your body starts to recall its former performance mode. It's regarding fostering a setting where potent, innate erections can occur more readily and accomplishing it in a manner that's secure, devoid of drugs, and entirely under your command. Gentlemen, you needn't resign to feebler or vanishing morning erections as a standard aspect of growing older. Your body retains the capacity to reply. It merely requires the appropriate stimulation and backing. By addressing these 3 points each day, you can re-educate your nerves, reinstate circulation, and reclaim that morning assurance without medications or hazardous interventions. If this proved useful, incorporate it into your regimen and inform me of its efficacy for you. And bear in mind, your sexual well-being mirrors your comprehensive health. Thus, each stride you undertake towards superior circulation and muscle vigor will yield dividends in the bedroom and further afield.